Hollywood has lost one of its brightest stars. On October 11th, 2025, Diane Keaton passed away peacefully at age 79 in the quiet of her California home. A final breath, a final gift from a woman who made imperfection beautiful. Her passing sent a wave of silence across the world. Because how do you say goodbye to someone who made you feel seen, even when you felt invisible? For over 50 years, Diane wasn't just an actress. She was a movement. Through The Godfather, Annie Hall, and more, she didn't play characters. She gave voice to vulnerability, courage, and quiet rebellion. She was the heart of a golden era, quirky, fearless, and human. But behind the smile lived solitude, sorrow, and heartbreak the world rarely saw. Her pain became poetry. Her silence became art. This isn't just the death of a star. It's the fall of a monument. A voice that once echoed with laughter now fades into memory. But her legacy teaches us this: broken hearts can shine, and even silence has a song. Before we go further, hit like in tribute, and type RIP Diane Keaton in the comments. Let her feel your light one last time. To understand her legacy, we return to her beginnings. Born January 5th, 1946 in Los Angeles, Diane grew up in a home where feelings were hidden, not spoken. Her father, quiet and firm. Her mother, once full of dreams, dimmed by domestic life. Diane saw it all and made a silent vow: I will not live my mother's life. While others dreamed of white picket fences, Diane dreamed of stage lights. Called difficult and strange, she wasn't lost, she was finding herself. Acting was survival. At 20, she left for New York with nothing but a suitcase and stubborn hope. She became Diane Keaton, a name part tribute, part rebellion. Facing rejection and loneliness, she turned fear into fuel. In 1968, barefoot and trembling, she auditioned for Hair and was told, "Don't change a thing." That night, Diane Keaton's silence broke into truth and legend. Before Oscars and The Godfather, she was a young woman surviving harsh winters and harsher rejection. Fame came, but so did exhaustion and pressure. In 1977, Annie Hall made her immortal, not a character, but her. At 31, she won an Oscar, yet whispered alone, "Is this what it feels like to be seen?" Behind the scenes, she worked relentlessly, terrified every role might be her last. The laughter she was known for began to fade as fear grew. In 1981's Reds, she gave everything she had left. After filming, she cried in her car, not from sadness, but from emptiness. The film won acclaim, but left her drained. What followed was silence. By the mid-80s, projects faltered. The Little Drummer Girl bombed. Critics were cold. She quietly stepped away, not from failure, but from fatigue. She turned down roles worth millions, not because she couldn't, because she needed to remember why she started. She rebuilt herself behind the spotlight. She wrote, directed, taught, advised. She reminded younger actors, the applause fades, but the work saves you. For Diane, success was never the goal. The fight was. But her story was never just about fame. It was about love, and one love in particular. A love that never fully began and never truly ended. Al Pacino. They met on The Godfather set in 1971. She was 25, he was 31. Something quiet bloomed. Not fireworks, but recognition. "I was crazy about him from the start," she admitted. Together they were soft-spoken, intense, unfinished. Their love was never loud, it was true. They shared silence like others shared stories, laughed over tea and pasta in two small kitchens, drove through LA with Sinatra on the radio, imagining futures they never dared name. "We didn't need to talk," she once said. "It was enough just to be there." But Al was haunted by distance. Diane, all heart, walked through every door. He avoided the ones that led to pain. She opened them even when it hurt. In 1990, filming The Godfather Part 3, she still believed. They stayed in the same Roman villa, shared memories like promises. She imagined children with his fire and her faith. The final act of a love story long delayed seemed to be arriving. And then, one evening in Rome, Under a honey-colored sky, she asked, not with anger but surrender, marriage or goodbye. Her voice trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of loving someone who could never choose her back. Between them, the table held the remains of what could have been, half-finished wine, untouched bread, and a silence that said everything. "I can't live in the in-between anymore," Diane whispered. He looked away. No fight, no storm, just stillness. That silence was his answer. Something inside her quietly broke. She packed her dreams, left before dawn, and flew home. The seat beside her had always been empty, and now, forever would be. Days later, grief struck again. Her father, Jack Hall, collapsed from a brain tumor. Holding his hand in sterile hospital rooms, she whispered, "Don't go yet, Dad. I'm not ready, but death waits for no one." Jack was her compass, steady, loving, unconditional. When he died, the last light in her house went out. For weeks, his desk lamp stayed on, as if even electricity refused to let go. She unraveled in silence. Therapy became her lifeline, not to heal, but just to survive. She faced a hard truth. I don't think people realize what it means to never be the first choice. She lost the two men who shaped her soul, one to distance, one to death, and lost herself somewhere in between. But Diane Keaton didn't disappear. She rebuilt. In the 1990s, she embraced motherhood, adopting her daughter Dexter and son Duke. "They saved me," she said. "I thought I was done with love." Then they arrived, and everything began again. No red carpet matched the joy of school lunches and late-night talks. "I used to think I wanted romance," she joked. "Turns out, I just wanted family." In her final years, Diane lived quietly and gracefully, surrounded by the warmth of her Brentwood garden and memories shaped by silence, not haunted by it. She didn't need applause. She had peace. Diane Keaton was defined not by her final breath, but by every moment she chose to keep loving, soft in a world that kept breaking her. Her name now drifts into eternity, carried on the breath of every woman who learned that heartbreak doesn't end you. It refines you. Maybe the cruelest, most beautiful love is the kind that never dies, the one that haunts you gently, like a whisper, the kind that breaks you and somehow makes you more whole. Diane Keaton's laughter once echoed across studios. Now it lives quietly in her garden and home she lovingly restored. On a peaceful October morning, surrounded by love and sunlight, she passed away, her presence still warm in the rooms she called sanctuary. Hollywood and fans mourned not just an actress, but a woman who made vulnerability heroic and imperfection beautiful. Diane's Brentwood estate stood as a testament to her resilience, a place shaped by her hands and spirit. Beyond fame and fortune, Diane's true legacy was the courage she gave others, to embrace solitude, aging, and love without apology. "Love makes you safe," she said, and through every heartbreak, she built a life of quiet defiance and grace. Tonight, her laughter drifts on the wind, her garden blooms wild, and her spirit shines softly inside us all. Diane Keaton's story is not over. It's a light that will never fade. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Also, drop a comment below.